Hey guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing the amazing Spider-Man on the PlayStation 3, also available on the Xbox 360, PlayStation Vita, and probably a shitload of other consoles that I don't have enough time during this recording to look up and let you know, but there's a wonderful site called Wikipedia where you could type in the amazing Spider-Man, the video game, and find out what games it's available for. Although it might confuse Wikipedia, because I believe the Sega Genesis version of the Spider-Man game on that system was actually called The Amazing Spider-Man. Just make sure it's whenever this came out. I didn't look at the date. It's based on the film that was kind of a remake of the first Spider-Man movie, but not as good. And I don't really like the Spider-Man movies that are coming out, the newer ones with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and it kind of sucks because most movies that Emma Stone's in, and I really like. I think she's funny. So whatever. The game's fun though. Let's play it. And the game's exactly what you come to expect in a Spider-Man game. I only have one pet peeve, well, two, maybe three pet peeves. First pet peeve, it's based on the movie series that I don't like. I like the Sam Raimi movies way better. I mean, I've only seen the first Amazing Spider-Man. Europe got Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 before we did, but I heard it's garbage and I'm not really anxious to see it, but I'll watch it whenever I get a chance, probably on video. I probably won't see it in the theaters. Excuse me. Unless I have to absolutely go to the theaters. And I love Spider-Man, and it's a comic book that I grew up with. That and Batman, but I was more into Spider-Man. I think I was more into Batman, like the Tim Burton movies and the amazing animated series. I think the animated series with Batman was probably my hugest Batman influence, besides maybe the first two Tim Burton movies, but I think I got the most out of the animated series, and I think that's why I like the Arkham games so much, because they're like a tribute to the animated series. It's like if the animated series went through puberty and grew up. And the DC Batman movies that have been coming out that are cartoons have been actually really good. So you should definitely check them out. Like The Dark Knight Returns and I forgot what it's called. It's whatever the Red Hood. The title might be more than that. It's whatever Batman movie has Red Hood in the title, and the animated series Mask of the Phantasm was really good too. Like, they actually do a really good job. They're more mature, but we're talking about Batman now. But comic book wise, I was always into Spider-Man. I like the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books a lot. So whatever, I'm getting off track. I said there's three things I didn't like. Number two of this game that I have issues with, and I don't hate it. Number two I have issues with is that it's based on the movie. I hate Spider-Man's costume so much in this game. I know that's such a nerdy thing to dislike about a game, but you can unlock other costumes. I have yet to. But one thing about I've seen in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is he has like the classic costume that looks even better than the costume in the Sam Raimi movie, so that's excited. And the third thing I'm kind of disappointed with is the web slinging is extremely simplified in this game. But I heard they fixed that in the Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game that should come out, I guess, at the end of this month, which is April at 2014 as of recording. But like this one, you just hold down the R2 button to make them web sling. The buildings look really nice though. We'll give them credit for that. It's not the first open world PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 Spider-Man game. They had Spider-Man 3, and then I forgot what it was called, where he had the symbiote suit. That one didn't do very well, because it almost seemed like a expansion pack of Spider-Man 3 basically. You have this cool mode where you go in slow motion. You can shoot a web line wherever you want to go. But I miss the mechanics of Spider-Man the movie 2 on PlayStation 2 where you had to shoot 2 individual webs. Then when Ultimate Spider-Man came out, you still had to be conscious of where your web was sticking. But you only had to worry about one strand of web in that game, so they simplified it a little bit. But even though it was a bit more complicated, I did like Spider-Man the movies 2 on PlayStation 2 web mechanic the best. And I just pushed. Oh, he did go through. But the web slinging is fine or whatever. It's not a game breaker. This is a fun game, even though it got mediocre to average reviews. These games always are going to be somewhat repetitive just because of the nature of an open world game and having to develop such a big city. Although the New York and the New York area that you can go to in the game isn't that big. But anyway, Amazing Spider-Man 2, the game or whatever, is supposed to, I think, go back to the micromanaging 2 lines of web, but like Spider-Man 2, the movie on PlayStation 2. I'm probably sounding like I'm rambling, probably because I am, because I'm trying to look at the game at the same time, but I haven't played it yet, but that's what I read, and if that's the case, that would be awesome. I can't remember the company's name that made this, like Beatnox or whatever. Something around there. Stealth takedown. The last Spider-Man they came out with, where it was when the regular Spider-Man died and you had to play a Spider-Man 2099, which is the least interesting Spider-Man in my opinion. So right now this is actually playing like the noir version of Spider-Man with the stealth takedowns. But their last game was kind of weak because the environments were sort of similar. It wasn't a terrible game, but it wasn't as good as the Shattered Dimensions game. The fighting system in this is a lot like Arkham City, where you push triangle whenever you see the spider sense go across its head. It seems like most action games that are coming out now use that system, which I don't mind. The only one I have a slight issue with, even though I really like the game, is Sleeping Dogs, and it's really not the game's fault, although I wish they had the option to change the color. Like when the bad guys are about to hit you, they glow red, and red's one of the colors that I have trouble seeing, so it takes me a little bit longer to pick up on the guys glowing red than like a huge white like exclamation point or the spider sense going over the head. So a lot of times I get hit early in Sleeping Dogs because it uses a similar system and I can't see red. I said the same thing twice. That'll buy me some time. It's red. That means people are shooting at me, I think. I'm not really sure. And if you'll notice sometimes he'll push R1, he'll do like a little web strike or whatever. It's so polite how the other guys just wait. That would look really cool, except Spider-Man's outfit's terrible. Interact. I don't think Spider-Man's supposed to kill people, and I think if I would have hit somebody with that, it probably would have killed them. Where am I supposed to go now? That's flashing. Snipers. Where are they? Oh. I feel sorry for anybody that has to control a camera system for a Spider-Man game. That must be a freaking nightmare. Like, I know in these games he automatically sticks to things like when you walk up to it, but I really like on at least the Sega CD version of Spider-Man versus the Kingpin. Although I guess it would take away a button from the controller. Like, I wish there was a button you push the stick on thing so you didn't accidentally crawl up on something unless you wanted to. Sometimes he's trying to walk around, or I'm trying to go up against a wall or something like that. Interact. Like on Spider-Man versus the Kingpin, if he wants to, like, even though it's a 2D game, maybe it wouldn't work as well in 3D. I don't know. But I think he pushed jump twice in order to stick to, like, the buildings. Otherwise, you can just flip and bounce off of things instead of accidentally sticking to it sometimes. But I guess that would make it complicated, and they want these games to appeal to everybody. I think that's why they simplified a lot of the mechanics, but I think people kind of complained about the simplified version. That's why maybe in Amazing Spider-Man 2, they're trying to go back to the roots. But I like it when the Spider-Man games are more based on the comics or original story, where they have more creative freedom, because like with a movie, you're like restricted on what you can do. This is actually takes place after the first movie, although some of the scenes of the sequel seem to contradict what happens in this game, so I don't think this game is like canon for the movie anymore, or the movie story. Because the Rhino's in this game, but he looks nothing like the Rhino that's in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer. I've noticed, like, it seems like every Spider-Man movie tie-in game always has the Rhino and Scorpion in it. I guess it's because they're throwaway characters. But I liked it when the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man, where it just kind of based it on its own universe, sorta mostly based on the comic, but it was definitely its own like storyline, and they could put whatever characters they wanted to. You had the Punisher, Daredevil, whatever. You had Carnage in one part, Venom in a different part. You didn't have to follow the story of the movie. You could do whatever you wanted to, and it was fun. And they did that with Shattered Dimensions too, which made that game awesome. But then the sequel, which I can't think of what it's called. I keep on thinking Web of Shadows, but I think that's the one where he played as the symbiote version. I died. That's not cool. I should have pushed web retreat. You can look on this side and see what people are tweeting to one another, although they want to call it New York City Thoughts because they don't want to get sued. Although I'm sure Twitter would have been happy to have their little bird logo on a licensed video game. I guess I gotta be a little bit stealthier than I'm currently being. I guess you're knocked out. Fuck. Come on. Even though his web shooters are mechanical in this game like they are in the Amazing Spider-Man movie, he doesn't seem to run out of web. That's a lot of guys I gotta beat up. I wonder if it's optional. Stealth takedown. Sure. Sure, on the camera all you can hear is the smashing of buttons, and I saw bullets fly, which isn't good for a guy whose body armor is spandex. Those guys must feel dirty after they get all that web squirted on them. Probably have to talk to a therapist afterwards. He shot this white stuff all over me. I don't know if I should get tested or what. It was more fancier than it ever needed to be just to drop a crate. Where am I supposed to go now? Oh, you stuck to the thing and I didn't tell you to. That's why I'm talking about a web sticking button or a wall crawling button. Whatever the hell you want to call the button. Let's call the button fucking L2. I don't care, just give me one. Do you even use L2 in this game? No. Not that I'm aware of. I just pushed it, nothing happened. Oh, I wasted the button. Alright, I see that it crashed on the floor over here, but... what? It's supposed to go on there. I don't even know. I'm so confused. Maybe if I wasn't talking all that time. It looks like Jonestown over here without the Kool-Aid. Alright. There's bad guys. Usually when there's bad guys, it means I'm either a terrible player, which is usually the case anyway, or does it mean that, it could mean that it's somewhere where I haven't been before. I mean, that's one way to get through there. level design in this area isn't the greatest, as things look pretty much similar, but the fighting mechanics and everything's fun, so I forgive it. I'm not a picky gamer, I just want to have a good time.
We've got to get to Connor's data before these idiots destroy it. Maybe this guy knows what the house cleaning's all about. Sure seems to be logging it well. You're that reporter on TV, Whitney Chang.
What are you doing?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Well, good to know you like to be on top, and I don't usually go this far on a first date.
The network know you got a
Aren't kids playing this game? This is a little innuendo-ish.
What are you doing? Easy.
You know who I am. I'm the man behind the mask.
You want the short answer or the long one?
After you pulled that stunt busting Connors out of the asylum, everyone's wondering about your true intentions. You think his research...
My intentions are hopefully to get a new outfit for the sequel
Well, it's not for the fresh air and conversation. There are rumors that Oscorp's new facelift
of the movie that this game is based on. And there's a comic book. You actually can collect comic book pages and finish the comics and actually read them. I mean, some people might think it's good. I was about to say, unfortunately, they're mostly based on the comics, the first Spider-Man comics from like the 60s, which are a novelty, but I don't think they're as good as the ones from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And I'm not being biased because of my age, because I really do like the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books. I haven't read the newest ones where they changed like who's Spider-Man, because Peter Parker got killed, and I don't read Spider-Man anymore because I think Peter Parker's mind or whatever got switched with Dr. Octopus's, which is really bizarre. But I think they're retelling the some of the early stories in a new comic book series. That sounds interesting, but I haven't read a lot of contemporary Spider-Man books, but a lot of the Spider-Man comic books that I read growing up were the older ones. I would get the graphic novels because if I collected all the interesting stories, the real ones. Why don't you shoot your web? I'll just go around it. If I collected those comic books of some of the popular stores, as a kid I wouldn't have been able to afford them. It would have been cheaper just to get the graphic novels. So a lot of the Spider-Man stories I really enjoyed and read were older ones, and some of them came out before I was born. But those are the ones that I read and I'm familiar with. And then I got a thick version of the Ultimate Spider-Man books, the first ones. When the series was still new, I used to read it. But after that, I just pick up comic books here and there. Really the only comics I try to collect on a monthly basis without making a terribly expensive habit, because I have a video game habit too, is I collect the Ghostbusters comic books. I was supposed to take a photo of her.
Something besides the subject is catching my eye.
Save photo, I guess. I'm gonna stop here.
Any day now.
As much as she wants me to take pictures, I'm gonna stop here. I thought I was supposed to take a picture of her. I guess I was supposed to take pictures of Oscorp logo.
What are you doing? Waiting for it to smile?
No, I'm waiting to push pause so you shut up so I can end my video. But yeah, I was saying I'm more familiar with the older stories because I used to get the graphic novels of collections of stories. But anyway, this is the Amazing Spider-Man on the PlayStation 3, also available on the Xbox 360 and Vita. I know for sure. You'll have to look it up to see what other systems it's available on, and if it's available on the PC, because I'm not sure. And it's on the DS or whatever, I'm sure. I know it's on the 3DS, but it's a different kind of game. It's like a simplified version, so definitely check to see like which version is what. There might be a Wii version too that's simplified, but I haven't played those. I played a demo of the 3DS version. That one was definitely different. I don't think you could like have the free roaming web slinging moments or whatever. It was just like action stages. But you'll have to look it up. I'm not like a wealth of knowledge on that area. But yeah, this is a fun game. It's a fun Spider-Man game. One of the better Spider-Man games on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I have fun playing it. If you're not a fan of the movie and you're a fan of Spider-Man, you can still enjoy it. And if you just want a fun platformer, like, it's fun to play. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything. It's not like playing like The Last of Us or like BioShock Infinite or whatever. But it's a fun game. Like, it's above average, but not best game. So definitely, if you find it cheap or whatever, or you want to play a Spider-Man game, like, it's not bad, it's fun. Just, I don't know, watch the video, and if it looks like something you like, play it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, you don't have to, but it would do me a huge favor if you just click the thumbs up, just so I know if you like the video or not, and leave a comment, positive or negative. And if you like this video, and you're new to the channel, there's plenty of other videos you can check out. Just in case you weren't crazy about this one, maybe there's another one you could watch, and I have a whole playlist like categorized in different sections where everything's divided into the types of video that they are. So if you're into retro games, you can look in the retro gaming section, etc. And if you like this video, click the subscribe button. There's plenty more of these, and I'm rambling, and I do that a lot in the video. So if you like rambling, definitely click the subscribe button. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel, whether it's just watching, leaving comments, clicking the thumbs up, subscribing, whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.